Taylor Swift debuts Tortured Poets section of her Eras Tour, Female Rage, the musical. Taylor Swift performed her first show since the release of her 11th studio album, The Tortured Poets Department, May 9 in Paris, and audiences were met with a surprise, a revamped setlist. Each concert in the record-breaking Eras Tour, which kicked off March 17, 2023 in Arizona, has typically run for 3 hours and 15 minutes. The standard setlist was made up of songs from each of Swift's albums except her 2006 debut. But at her first Paris show of the tour, Swift introduced a new era to represent her latest album. The tour intro, featuring purple and pink waving pieces of fabric, notably features a medley of Swift singing the names of her albums, before kicking off her first song, Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. On May 9, the concert opening featured a new black and white on-screen background, the addition of a choral, The Tortured Poets Department, and a new orange and red bodysuit, foreshadowing several notable costume changes to come. During an edited red era of the show, Swift teased that the crowd in Paris made her want to bring out all kinds of fun surprises. Later in the show, Swift officially debuted her new era with a Tortured Poets Department section of her show. Influencer Chris Olsen live-streamed the Paris concert from TikTok, and when the Tortured Poets era began, more than 200,000 users watched along. Here's what happened. The Tortured Poets Department makes the Eras Tour setlist. The Tortured Poets Department section began ominously, with echoes of her voice from My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys and other songs. Here are the songs Swift performed from her 11th album: But Daddy I Love Him, Bridge of So High School, thought to be about boyfriend Travis Kelce, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, Down Bad, Fortnite, The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, performed with a drum line, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. The era introduced a new set piece, a mirrored box that allowed Swift to glide and seemingly levitate across the stage as she belted out the album's powerful lyrics. She also seemingly recreated the sterile asylum-like set of her music video, Fortnite, on stage. After The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, Swift seemingly laid lifeless on the stage until two dancers carried her over to a red heart-shaped box. She changed costumes as a jazzy, theatrical instrumental track played before performing I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, juxtaposing the rousing beat with devastating lyrics. After the era, Swift went into the acoustic set and told the crowd that her nickname for the Tortured Poets section is Female Rage, the musical. Swift first teased the addition of Tortured Poets to the setlist with a U2 short featuring her single Fortnite. In the black and white video, Swift shows fans a fortnight or 2-week period in her life, including what appears to be rehearsals for the restart of the Eras Tour after 2 months off. In several clips, fans noticed props and costumes that they didn't recognize from the Eras Tour, such as top hats and canes. Those top hats and canes came into play during the finale of the era, accompanied by a theater marquee that read, Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour. Did the rest of the Eras Tour setlist change? Yes, several songs from the setlist were trimmed or dropped entirely, seemingly to make room for Tortured Poets. First, The Archer was cut from the Lover era. Then Swift made some major alterations to the order of the setlist. Red, normally the 6th section of the night, moved up, with 22 immediately following Fearless. After Red, the stage lights turned purple and a troupe of dancers came on stage to perform a new number to an orchestral version of Enchanted, which Swift sang after to usher in the Speak Now era. Long Live was cut from the setlist. While Reputation ran the same, Swift then combined her sister albums, Folklore and Evermore, into one era, which fans can call Everlore or Folkmore, she said on stage. That section saw significant trims, with Swift cutting The Last Great American Dynasty and Tolerate It. The 1989 era remained unchanged and immediately